This is the Scarborough family. Mother there in the corner is weaving sailcloth on the loom. Her daughter, Astrid, is preparing food by the fire, and Scarthy is teaching his son a Viking saga. That's a long-spoken story about gods and heroes, or bravery in battle.
Look at the chicken.
Now, young Sven there will be called on to recite the story at tomorrow night's ale feast, and he's more than a little nervous. Vikings love feasting. They dress up in their best clothes and gather round the fire to eat, drink, and entertain each other with stories and songs. And there'll be some rather special things on the menu, like stuffed cormorant and roast puffin. Very nice if you like that sort of thing. Now, to drink, they have a type of mead made from fermented honey, as well as various ales and wines. Now, because of impurities in the drink, their hangovers are dreadful. But of course, the men love to boast about how much they can drink. So you see, some things never change. There's plenty more to find out about the Vikings, so I'll leave you to it.
This bit will be alright.
Shall I press?
Yeah.
Now, let me introduce you to Frida and Olaf. Frida, as you can see, is dying wool, and Olaf is the village wood turner. Frida's looking rather tired because she was up early this morning picking red berries and tree bark to grind up and make that orangey dye she's using. She got quite a good range of colours made from various roots and herbs and moss and heather. Not that Olaf takes much notice about however colourful she dresses. He's too busy with his woodworking. He's just finishing off a feasting bowl, which he's carved from a solid piece of wood. Press the button and you'll see how his lathe works. He's a clever chap, Olaf. He also makes cups and spoons and barrels and buckets from wood. No wonder Frida's got her eye on him. Behind you is the entrance to a Viking house, where the Scarborough family are just getting ready to have their tea. See you in there.
Oh, we've already been there.
I know I've already been. That's because you used to come in through here from the train before.
I used to come in the train.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bird up there, never noticed that before.
Oh, up on the roof, yeah. Oh. No, I didn't notice. Every time you come in here, though, you spot something.
Yeah.
Else. You just have it out.
So I mean, it's going to be a shame when it goes.
This way to Scarborough Castle. We go?
Might as well.
See, it used to be better when this was all dark, didn't it? Creepy. Right, ready?
Yeah.
At the top of these stairs is King Edward I. He really put Scarborough on the map when he rebuilt the castle. Now, you've left Scarborough just in time, because in 1066 it's all but destroyed. King of Norway, Harold Hardrada, wants to be King of England. When the people of Scarborough won't help him, he makes a huge bonfire on top of a hill and then rolls it down so it sets fire to the village. There's no mention of Scarborough in the Doomsday Book, and it's only when William the Roast, or Black Willie as the Saxons used to call him, decides to build a fort that the town starts to come alive again.
That castle there's a good idea because kids play in there.
Yeah.
William loved that.
Kids make a racket in there when they're trying to watch this.
Right, shall I start by pressing another time?
Yeah.
That's King Edward I. He's had a late working supper as he checks out his plans to restore and improve the castle. He wants to make sure that the castle has the very latest in military technology which he has seen on the Crusades. The man explaining the plans to the king is his master mason, Master James of St. George. He's an expert on castle design and has been helping Edward work on his castles in Wales. That lucky fella counting the gold coins is the treasurer of the Royal Exchequer. He has to check the daily accounts and pay the craftsmen and the labourers. The king spent the equivalent of £3 million on Scarborough Castle. Behind the screen, the king's wife, Queen Eleanor, is getting ready for bed. She was actually sewn into her clothes this morning and is being unsewn tonight by a tiring woman. Eleanor was 9 years of age when she married Edward, and Edward was all of 14. The flags and shields in this chamber in Scarborough Castle are of important local Yorkshire families loyal to King Edward. The sounds are from the castle chapel. The kings and queens of England at this time were devout Catholics. As you see, all the fabrics are very rich and colourful. The English nobility and gentry had discovered damask from Damascus during the Crusades. It was very, very fashionable at this time. That book has a length of chain hanging from it. Books were all made and written entirely by hand and were consequently very valuable. They were normally kept chained in libraries or from reading stands, just like that one being used by the Master Mason. That unusual job is called an aquamanile. It holds water which is poured over the king's hands to clean them after the meal into that silver bowl.
No, it's not coming out very well, that one.
That aquamanile was made here in Scarborough.
I don't think this bit's going to come out before
Well, give it a go. Get the bag.
Quickly, you must help me! Help! Be still, I'm coming to you! Oh, it's crushing my very chest! Hold on, sir, I pray you! Damn blast that Master Mason, police rush! Put your tongue here!
The other makes me jump this bit.
Holy Mother of God, help me! Oh, for God's sake, help me! Hold on, Master John! Quickly, you must help me! Help! Be still, I'm coming to you! Oh,
crushing my very chest! Hold on, sir, I pray you! Damn blast that master mason for me, Frost! What's your tongue here?
How they built that castle.
Yeah.
Flowing and all.
Well, it must have taken long enough to build this little bit.
That's above.
And what they can do with all this stuff when it's gone.
Yeah.
They probably want to do is turn it into a ghost train. They want to leave this stuff intact.
It's just sad, isn't it? It's most original thing.
Well, it's the best thing on the seafront anyway. No skiddies.
This way.
Pictures and stuff. Pictures on all the walls here. There's a picture down. I'm awaiting.
Done away with plastic bowl.
Well, they...
It used to be over there.
Yeah.
The plastic bowl used to be the private people in the stores, couldn't you?
But then all the balls used to end up in there anyway.
Now, the place to be in the 14th century is definitely Scarborough, or Scarborough, as it's now called. There's importing iron from Spain and wine from France. There's exporting wool from the monasteries and special Scarborough pottery. There's also fishing and the famous Scarborough Fair. It's all happening here. Now, you see those two men loading Scarborough ware pots into a boat? Well, only Butterfingers there drops it and it splashes on the quayside. That's how we know so much about medieval Scarborough. Because the bits of pottery sink into the sand and are found 600 years later by archaeologists. So next time you're paddling in the sea, you just think what you might be standing on. But with fish, wool and pottery, Scarborough folk are doing very nicely, thank you. And of course, once a year, thousands of people come to the town for Scarborough Fair. There's juggling, music and acrobats to entertain the crowd, but the real purpose of the fair is to trade. And if anyone is found giving their customers short measure, putting the stocks there and filled it with dog smoke or horse manure or rotten eggs and vegetables. Not only did this keep the merchants honest, but it also provided hours of fun for medieval children.
Careful now, careful!
I'm standing in that corner because it's not very loud.
This is indeed precious ware. This cargo is destined for fine folks' tables. They're not for the likes of you.
Oh! 1,000 pardons, master. The place to be in the 14th century is definitely Scarborough, or Scarborough, as it's now called. It's imported iron from Spain, wine from France, exported wool from the monasteries and Scarborough potteries. There's also fishing and the famous Scarborough bear. It's all up to here. Have you seen those? She's Scottish, you see, and she came here when she was 16 to work as a fish gutter and packer. At first, she didn't like it, but she and the other girls weren't very welcoming of pubs and cafes. Well, it was the smell of eating, working with fish all day. But then she met Tom, a swarthy Scarborough fisherman. He proposed and she said, now he catches and she sells, and they really are very happy together. Because for them, you see, being in the same business, it was love at first sniff.
This used to be at the end though, didn't it? Near the end.
It's a rather refined young lady, and she's come to Scarborough to be cured of melancholia and a nasty touch of windiness. Now, she's just tasted the spa water, and as you can see from the look on her face, it tastes disgusting, very bitter and slightly sulphurous. Old Aggie there has seen it all before and is having a good laugh at Melissa. Then old Aggie offers to put a little gin in with the spa water, purely for medicinal purposes, of course. After 4 or 5 glasses of the newly sweetened spa water, Melissa is starting to feel the benefit. And this evening she'll promenade along the seafront in the hope of catching the eye of some handsome young man who, after formal introductions, will take her to dinner and a concert. Now that should cure the melancholia. I just hope the evening isn't ruined by the windiness.
They ain't going to be able to read the posters or anything, they're not coming out very well.
No, well, you've got the reflections on the last.
White lens go through from strolling halfway through the talking.
Filming now.
That's alright, no.
Try again. Let's send them off. 56 pounds of good parliamentary iron and black castle deep.
Oh dear, oh dear. I'm afraid you've arrived at just the wrong time. It's 1645 and Scarborough is slap bang in the middle of the Civil War, and everyone is having to take sides. You can be either a royalist or a parliamentarian. The royalists or cavalry support the king, and they like dressing up and good wine and good food and dancing and of course they do lose. Whereas the parliamentarians or roundheads are really quite boring. They're Puritans. So that means no dancing or music. In fact, Oliver Cromwell has all the maypoles chopped down and it's illegal to carry playing cards. He even tries to ban Christmas dinner. But of course they do eventually win. And poor old Charles I has his head chopped off. So, it's up to you really. You can have a short, fun life with the royalists, or a long, boring one with the parliamentarians. Here you can see Sir John Meldrum, commander of the parliamentarians. He's got this character with St Mary's Church, and he's laid siege to the royalists who are holed up in Scarborough Castle. You can just about see them through the smashed church window. But it's the same old story. It's the ordinary people, Scarborough citizens who suffer the most. You see, Sir John has brought with him about 3,000 parliamentary troops, and they've not been paid for several weeks. When they reach Scarborough, they ransack the place. Well, they're here for about 3 months, you see, until the royalists surrender. They take all the people's houses, take the crops out of the ground, the sheep out of the field, the town market, and it's food rationing. People are reduced to eating half a rat. So, we better move on before it gets to dinner time.
Shall we try again? Let's send them off. 56 pounds of good parliamentary iron and black castle deep.
It's alright. I thought I'd get that. What do you want it does?
Yeah.
We do like to be beside the seaside.
When Dickie Dickinson there was governor of the Spa, sea bathing was very different to your modern day seaside fun. It was more like a medicine to be endured than something to be enjoyed. If you were suffering from gout or deafness, hiccups or even madness, you might have to take a course of supine salination or sea bathing. In the early days you had to bathe naked, but the Victorians soon put a stop to that. A corporation bylaw in 1861 banned nude bathing, declaring it indecent and immoral, and men and women were not allowed to bathe in the same area. You had to hire a bathing machine, which would be pulled into the sea. And once you were changed, you stepped down into the water, where you would be seized by your bathing attendant, who would duck you 3 times. Now, a ringing noise in your ears was a sure sign it was doing you good. You
can hire that red and white bathing machine for 6p a day. Pull back the curtain to see what it's like inside.
Hey, do you mind?
But 1735 was the first one look. Used to be more than 40 on the South Bay. It'd be a lot of money, yeah, half an hour. Oh, there's another lot here, come on.
This lady, standing in her red Scarborough house, had no idea when she got this morning that her life could be so shattered in such a short space of time. It was just an ordinary crisp December morning, and proud boy Scout,
The camera's there.
Go on, you got it,
Position right.
Hey, do you mind?
I could do that all the time. It's brilliant. So drawers hanging up at the back.
Hey, do you mind?
She's getting annoyed with better clothes.
Yeah.
Hey, do you mind?
Trouble being here is you get the sound from the arcade, which
Do
is
you mind?
just beyond the wall. Well, not far off anyway. Yeah, the road is very bright outside anyway. Nowadays.
Yeah. Can I go through?
Yeah.
This lady, standing in her red Scarborough house, had no idea when she got up this morning
You can smell it,
that her
can't you?
life could be so shattered in such a short space of time.
Just have
It
a
was
tell
just
you
an
that
ordinary
you
crisp
know that
December
8
morning,
and
and
stuff.
proud Boy Scout George Harland Taylor was on his way to buy his father's newspaper. There was no warning and no mercy. 3 German cruisers appeared out of the sea mist and opened fire on sleepy, unsuspecting Scarborough. A hail of destruction and death descended on the town. Hundreds of shells were fired in a barrage that lasted half an hour. George Harland Davis, in his torn and bloodied scout uniform, was found in the rubble, his lifeless hand still clutching his father's newspaper. A direct hit on a house in Viking Street killed a whole family, including the 2 children, as they sat round the kitchen table having breakfast. 17 people lost their lives and over 80 were injured on December the 16th, 1914, when the horror of the First World War was brought to Scarborough.
I can smell it burning and stuff in the air.
No, it's that way where the... Just got me one, that's it. Push it.
Ah, I changed it.
Yeah. Stick it in there, go on. Stop in the end, one. Go on, pull me. One on the end.
What is it?
Cool. It's for kiddies, that one. The bumpy mirrors don't work very well.
Yeah, I think it's
You don't have to.
Oh, it's still recording and all. Oh, hello. Yeah. Yeah, oh dear. Go on at the end. That one. That's it, that suits you better. That's my boy. Oh dear.
You're nearly back in your own time now. I just thought you were going to come back and see us again. Of course, now you're experienced time travellers, you'll be able to choose how you get here. If you come back in the 18th century, it'll be by stagecoach over the turnpike roads. A mere 7 hours from York to Scarborough. In the 19th century, you can come by train. Well, it's only a penny a mile if you don't mind travelling third class. Then in the 20th century, you can come by Caravan, or a bit later, in one of our very old Plaxton coaches, made in Scarborough. So however you decide to come back, I hope you'll come back soon. Now, through the door and down the stairs is Scarborough Fair, for a taste of seaside fun. I'm going back to my own time now, when magnificent steam trains brought thousands of people for a lovely couple of weeks by the beautiful briny sea. So, cheerio. Must be off. Oh, I do.
And that just takes you straight out to the music.
Yeah, I think so.